Good evening and welcome to the Bellingham City Council regular meeting. Today is Monday, December 5th, 2022. I'm going to start with announcements and upcoming meetings. Bellingham City Council meets all requirements of the State of Washington Open Meetings Act. In addition, we have 3 upcoming public hearings. So at our next meeting on December 12th, 2022 at 7:00 p.m., there will first be a public hearing to consider the proposed updates to the design review program as it currently applies to the downtown, Old Town, Waterfront, Fairhaven, Fountain, Samish, and Barclay urban villages. The proposal includes modification of design review standards in Bellingham Municipal Code sections 20.25, 20.35, and 20.37. Adoption of Unified Urban Village and Historic Preservation Design Guidelines and updates to review procedures. The second public hearing will be on that same day, December 12th at 7:00 p.m. And this public hearing will be to consider the Greenways Strategic Plan for 2022 to 2026. This plan will guide spending of Greenways levy funds, and details are available on the city's website at https://cob.org/2022-2026-greenways-strategic-plan. The third public hearing on that same day, December 12th at 7:00 p.m., will be to consider the master plan for Maplewood-McLeod Neighborhood Park, located in the Birchwood neighborhood. Details are available at https://engagebellingham.org/Maplewood-McLeod-Park. And those are the announcements. Now I'll turn to the Deputy Clerk for roll call, please.
Hannah Stone.
Here.
Holly Huffman.
Here.
Dan Hamill.
Here.
Skip Williams.
Here.
Lisa Anderson.
Here.
Michael Lillquist.
Here.
And Christina Michelle Martins.
Here.
All council members are present.
Thank you very much. And so no public hearings this evening, but again, 3 next week. So at this time, we'll turn to Mayor Fleetwood for the mayor's report.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Council. A couple of appointments tonight. The first one for the Civil Service Commission does require approval, so I'll be asking for a motion to approve and affirm the appointment. It's a reappointment of Richard Davis to the Civil Service Commission.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Hamel and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0.
And the other is Valerie Billmeyer to the Bellingham Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, and that does not require approval. That's information only. I want to just bring your attention to a couple of grant awards that we received, which are exciting. The Transportation Improvement Board, which met in Bellingham last week for their meeting, has awarded Bellingham $400,000 for the 12th and Finnegan and the 11th and McKenzie multimodal safety improvements that are going to be constructed in the summer of 2024. That's good news. We also will be the recipient of a $62,000 grant to support alternative response. The alternative response team that we're developing in partnership with Whatcom County. The grant was made possible by the Association of Washington Cities with support from the Washington Healthcare Authority, and more details will be forthcoming with that. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring some special attention to the fact that the Western women's soccer team played in the national championship this past weekend on Saturday in Seattle and won. They are national champions, so congratulations, Western Washington University. There was a great tree lighting ceremony downtown on Friday around 6 o'clock. And of course, you recall 2 years ago we had to cancel it because of COVID. And last year we started that up again. There was a decent little crowd a year ago. But on Friday night, there was a large group of people. I don't know if it was just to see the tree lighting ceremony downtown or if it was function of the fact that it was First Friday and for the Arts Walk, but there was a big crowd out and they came up and we turned the tree on. It was a nice thing. So that's it from me, and I'll turn it back to you, Council President Stone.
Thank you very much. So next, we will turn to report outs from our committee meetings earlier today. The first committee was Public Works and Natural Resources. That committee is chaired by Councilmember Lillquist, so I will turn to him at this time.
Thank you, Council President Stone. We had two items before us today. The first of those was a request for sewer service outside city limits at the address 2428 U Street Road. The owners of the existing residence at 2428 U Street Road have been informed by the Whatcom County Health Department that the septic system that serves the residence has failed. The owners are requesting to enter into a contract with the City of Bellingham for retail sewer service outside city limits, which is allowed under BMC Chapter 15.36 only when the City Council determines that such service, quote, is necessary to protect the basic public health and safety and the environment, end quote. Due to the failed septic system, staff recommends extending city sewer service to the property to protect basic public health, safety, and environment pursuant to the attached draft utility service contract. That contract lists all the requirements for connection to the city sewer service, as well as limiting any future use of the sewer to existing single-family dwelling. Council approval is required this afternoon. The committee unanimously recommended approval of the sewer service extension, and I so move.
Second. Motion's been made by Councilmember Lillquist and a second by Councilmember Anderson. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0.
Thank you. The next item was a bid award for the F Street Crossing project. The F Street Crossing project will install safety measures at the at-grade rail crossing at F Street. The project is one of several rail crossing safety improvements enabling the city to apply for the establishment of a quiet zone. The city received two bids, which were publicly opened on October 27th. Colacurcio Brothers Construction, Inc. was the responsible bidder who submitted the lowest responsive bid for the base bid at a sum of $1,341,169.70, which includes Washington State sales and use tax. The engineer's estimate for the base bid was similar, $1.22 million. Staff's recommendation is to award the base bid for Colacurcio. However, the discussion this afternoon had to do with the fact that the staff did not recommend awarding the alternate bid, which would include some fiber conduit, internet fiber conduit that the port had requested. As we discussed, actually, the putting conduit in at this time is an excellent part of the project, but due to technicalities with the federal funding and how this project was bid, the federal authorities told us that we probably could not award the bid at this time, but that we could handle it by adding it into the project after the award is bid. So I think that's important because having good internet connection to the waterfront as it's developed is important, and getting across the railroad is not always easy, and this is a great opportunity, so that will be done later. So with that, the committee unanimously recommended awarding the bid, and I so move.
Second. Motion's been made by Councilmember Lillquist and a second by Councilmember Anderson. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, that passes 7-0.
End of committee report.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Lillquist. Next this afternoon, we held the Community and Economic Development Committee. That committee is chaired by Councilmember Huffman, so I will turn to her at this time for a report.
Thank you, President Stone. Today for our committee, we had 3 agenda items. The first was Agenda Bill 23548, an interlocal agreement with Whatcom County for ground level response and coordinated engagement services, also known as GRACE. This agreement establishes Whatcom County as the administrator of the Whatcom Ground Level Response and Coordinated Engagement Program. Coordinated administration within the City of Bellingham is required to administer direct services and monitor success of the GRACE program. The City of Bellingham will reimburse Whatcom County with up to $392,000 in GRACE program costs annually in 2023 and 2024. So essentially, the GRACE program used to live within CMAR, and it has been moved to Whatcom County. And so this agreement is the interlocal for that. The committee unanimously recommended approval, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Huffman and a second by Councilmember Hamel. Any discussion? Councilmember Hamel.
Yeah, I just want to underscore how important this program is. The GRACE program helps people get access to services that they need. It helps prevent incarceration, and I think this is a great deal. This is run not just by Whatcom County, but the Whatcom County Health Department's new response system, our response systems division, alongside the LEAD program and then the alternate response program, which the mayor just brought up in his remarks. So I'm totally supportive of this. I think it's a really good deal for us.
Any other comments? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0.
Second item was Agenda Bill 23549, consideration of Bellingham Whatcom County Tourism's 2023 Tourism Promotion Area Budget. The city and county councils formed a tourism promotion area, also known as a TPA, as authorized by RCW 35.101.020 after receiving a petition from affected businesses. Collections received from qualified businesses in the city, that's hoteliers, and unincorporated Whatcom County are deposited within the city of Bellingham. Pursuant to the ordinance, the city will contract with Bellingham Whatcom County Tourism to conduct the activities consistent with state law. The Bellingham Whatcom County Tourism Board of Directors has prepared a draft budget. Pursuant to state law, City Council is required to act on that budget as part of its role as the legislative authority. The committee unanimously recommended approval, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Huthman and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions?
Abstain.
One abstention. Okay, so that passes 6-0-1 with Councilmember Hamel abstaining.
And our third and final item was Agenda Bill 23550, consideration of the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee's 2023 budget recommendations. At the October 25th, 2022 meeting, the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, LTAC, met to review and make recommendations on the 2023 expenditures. Council action is needed to approve the budget. The committee recommended approval with a vote of 2 aye votes and 1 abstention. That abstention was mine, and I'll be abstaining from this vote as well due to a potential conflict of interest. And I assume I'll need a motion, or well, the committee recommended approval, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Huthman and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? I just wanted to simply add that we will update the agenda packet to include the list of startup grant recommendations as well as the standard grant recommendations for 2023 that Tara Sundin had forwarded after the committee meeting this afternoon. That was just an inadvertent omission, but that will be included as well. So, okay. There's no discussion. I'll call the question. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions?
Abstain.
Abstain.
So that passes 5-0-2 with council members Hamel and Huthman abstaining.
And with that, end of committee report.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Huthman. So next this afternoon, we had the Committee of the Whole. We had several items before us. The first was Agenda Bill 23554. This was the Salary Commission report. In November of 2021, City Council approved an ordinance to establish an independent salary commission to review and fix the salaries for members of the City Council. According to the ordinance, the decision of the Salary Commission will be final and no further action from City Council will be needed. It will be recorded, it will be incorporated into the budget, and will amend the Bellingham Municipal Code. That's 3.12.010A. The Salary Commission set the salary at $67,000 effective January 1st, 2023. This replaces the current salary, including the monthly meeting stipend. The salary will increase by 3% on January 1st, 2024, and every January 1st thereafter. We heard this afternoon from Gene Knudsen, our council member emeritus. He served as chair of the Salary Commission. In addition, we were joined by Stacy Carroll, who acted as facilitator for the commission. I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate and recognize the members of the Salary Commission and thank them for their time serving on behalf of the city to do this important work. That was Jedediah Givens, Ken Hertz, Gerard Kale, Jean Knutson, Kenny Ramberg, Russell Baird, otherwise known as RB, Tewksbury, and Pinky Vargas. So again, this afternoon, their report was simply for information only. But Councilmember Knutson did mention that the last raise for the council was in 1997, about 25 years ago. So he thought that was in due time, and also expressed appreciation to Councilmembers Lillquist and Anderson for speaking to the commission as a part of their deliberations on the topic. So this was for information only, and there was no action needed. The next item before the council was Agenda Bill, Committee of the Whole, was Agenda Bill 23551. This was an ordinance amending the 2021-2022 biennial budget, increasing expenditures. So this final budget ordinance, I think we can finally say final since we're this close to the end of the year, final budget ordinance of the year makes adjustments to the Parks and Recreation Department and Legal Department to correct potential budget overages. This ordinance is needed to ensure that departments stay within their budgeted authority through the end of the year. And so this afternoon, we heard from Deputy Finance Director Forrest Longman to present the ordinance that's before the council. Again, this includes $700,000 to Parks and Recreation, as well as $100,000 to the Legal Department. With respect to the Parks and Recreation Department, this is to cover utility overages from rate increases, unbudgeted costs related to private security, and less than anticipated salary savings. With respect to the Legal Department, this is for wages and benefit costs that have outpaced the budget due to the salary budget calculation error. So again, this is sort of a housekeeping matter to make sure that the budget is in order to close out the year. This afternoon, there was a unanimous recommendation from the council to adopt and pass the ordinance as presented in the packet, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by the chair and a second by Councilmember Lillquist. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0. The next item before Committee of the Whole was Agenda Bill 23552. This is an ordinance repealing Chapter 4.32 of the Bellingham Municipal Code. Chapter 4.32 of the Bellingham Municipal Code concerns the city's warehouse activities. This activity has changed dramatically from when this chapter was created in 1981. Shipping and logistics advances have reduced the need for warehousing in central stores. What was once called the Warehouse Fund has long since become the Purchasing Fund. The warehousing service now almost exclusively supports the city's water utility. The 2023-2024 biennial budget transfers the purchasing work group from the Public Works Department to the Finance Department. As part of this change, the budget assumes elimination of the purchasing fund and moves the activity into the general fund. It transfers existing dollars in the purchasing fund to the facilities fund to re-roof and add solar panels to the warehouse roof, and it shifts the remaining warehouse operations to the water utility. So again, this presentation was from Deputy Finance Director Forrest Longman, and is somewhat of a housekeeping matter. But there was a motion from the council to unanimously pass the ordinance as presented in the packet, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by the chair and a second by Councilmember Anderson. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, seeing none, that passes 7-0. The next item before us was Agenda Bill 23553. This was a municipal court judge salary increase. The ordinance proposes an alignment of the municipal court judge salary with district court judges as determined by the Washington Citizens Commission on Salaries for Elected Officials, which has discretion in setting the salary for district court judges, among other positions. State law allows for the city to receive a reimbursement for a portion of the cost if two conditions are met. The first is that the municipal court judge is elected. And second, an ordinance aligning the salary with district court judge has been adopted. So the attached ordinance in the packet satisfies the second requirement. In addition, this change would also affect the court commissioner salary, as by policy, they are paid 85% of the municipal court judge's salary. This afternoon, there was a unanimous recommendation to approve the ordinance as presented in the packet, and I so move. Motion's been made by the chair and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0. The motion during that session that was brought forward by Councilmember Lillquist, unclear if that requires a final vote in the evening. I don't believe so. Okay. So in the report out, there was a motion from Councilmember Lillquist for the administration to review a possible charter amendment to avoid conflict under Title II, Section 9, which addresses that the mayor shall not be paid higher than any other employee or official, and so looking to limit that to exclude outside commissions, right, outside of the locality. So that passed this afternoon as well. Next before the Committee of the Whole was Agenda Bill 23555. So this is an ordinance adopting the 2023-2024 biennial budget. The proposed 2023-2024 biennial budget was first introduced to the City Council on October 3rd, 2022. Since then, the City Council has held numerous budget work sessions, considered amendments, and had 2 public hearings on the budget. The attached ordinance is the culmination of that process and sets the budget for the 2-year period beginning January 1st, 2023. It includes operating expenditures of $641,130,696. The capital expenditures of $203,295,003. This afternoon, there was a unanimous recommendation to pass the budget ordinance as included in the packet, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by the chair and a second by Councilmember Anderson. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0. Next, we have Agenda Bill 23556. This is a resolution setting the dates and times of the 2023 City Council meetings. Every year, the City Council creates the meeting calendar for the following year and approves it by resolution. So this afternoon, there was unanimous recommendation to approve the calendar as included in the online packet and pass the resolution reflecting those calendar dates, and I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made by the chair and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, seeing none, that passes 7-0. In addition, this afternoon, the council discussed the reorganization meeting, which will be held on Wednesday, January 4th. At that reorganization meeting, we will commence at 9:00 a.m. And so that's just a point of order with respect to that scheduling. But then the first regularly scheduled council meetings will take place on Monday, January 9th. Next, we have Agenda Bill 23557. This is approval of the City Council special meeting minutes from November 14th, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Hamel and a second by Councilmember Lillquist. Any discussion or changes? Okay, seeing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, seeing none, that passes 7-0. Finally, we have Agenda Bill 23391. This is approval of City Council regular meeting minutes from November 21st, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Huthman and a second by Councilmember Anderson. Any discussion or changes? Okay, seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, seeing none, that passes 7-0. Next, we have old and new business. Councilmember Martins.
These line of questions were inspired by a consent agenda item. I do not want to pull that item, don't need to discuss that specifically, don't want to change anything. But it was AB 23560, the interlocal agreement between the Housing Authority and the Bellingham Police Department, which I fully support. My questions after that, however, were what else are we doing to assist people who are first interacting with a drug and crime prevention officer? Are we also allocating more money for caseworkers or mental health supports or job training in general? And if no one has those answers right now, I completely understand. Should I be making a motion to get those answers?
We can look that up for you and get back to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilmember Lillquist.
Just so the mayor knows, we did speak briefly with Tara Sundin about this, but she indicated that a lot of the information probably needed to come from the county. So you may want to check with her or your planning director.
Thank you.
Other council members have items for old and new business? Okay. I just wanted to state again, this afternoon, I mentioned that we have a new legislative assistant, Jacqueline Lassiter, otherwise known as Jackie. I just want to do a brief introduction to those who are joining us in chambers this evening, as well as to the council, and welcome Jackie to our team. Jackie attended Washington State University with a major in political science, as well as psychology and a minor in Spanish. She has served as a field organizer and intake coordinator with different nonprofits, as well as serving as an intern and legislative aide in Olympia, and most recently serving as a legislative clerk across the street at the Whatcom County Council office. So we're very excited for her to join the team here at the City of Bellingham, especially in the council office. I just wanted to highlight that through the interview process, very struck by just everything that she's going to bring to our work here in the council office, looking at sort of internal operations and things that she already knows that puts her sort of the head of the game as far as hitting the ground running, but also in public engagement. What really struck me is just her ability to be very even-keeled. I know that life here in the city can be busy and crazy at times, and so just that steadfastness, but also just her vast experience is really going to be of great service to the council. So welcoming her, and I also wanted to just make sure that members of the council as well as staff members knew that Nalini Margaitis is still with us through the end of the year on a contract to help with training, and then we will reevaluate at the end of the year to see where we're at, but appreciative to staff and finance for making that happen to allow for some overlap, just to allow for that passing of the baton. It really helps to ensure that that transition is smooth for the council. So appreciation to the administration as well to help facilitate that. So welcome, Jackie. Next, we had the executive. There's no further items for old or new business. We had an executive session this afternoon. We had two items before us. Both of them were potential property acquisitions. The first potential property acquisition was presented by Stamps. Staff provided information about a potential property acquisition. This was for information and discussion only, and no action was taken. The second item as well was a potential property acquisition, also with Stamps, where staff provided information on a potential property acquisition. This was for information and discussion only, and no action was taken. Next, we have consent agenda.
Move approval.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Hamel and a second by Councilmember Williams. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Seeing none, that passes 7-0. Next, I will turn to the Deputy Clerk for final consideration of ordinances.
Agenda Bill 23531, an ordinance of the City of Bellingham, Washington, providing for the acquisition by eminent domain of property for the purpose of the James Baker View Intersection Reconstruction Project, and authorizing payment thereof from the city's street fund or from such other monies that the city may have available or attain for the acquisition, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Move third and final.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Hamel and a second by Councilmember Huffman. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Skip Williams.
Aye.
Holly Huffman.
Aye.
Lisa Anderson.
Aye.
Hannah Stone.
Aye.
Michael Lillquist. Christina Michelle Martins.
Aye.
Dan Hamel. The motion carries 7-0.
Thank you very much. Is there any further business before the council this evening? Okay. Seeing none, our next meeting will be this next Monday, December 12th. That will be the final meeting of the year. So Monday, December 12th, 2022, we will reconvene. And until then, we are adjourned. Thank you very much and have a good night.